Just raise your hand and I'll call your name. Okay, we'll start with Jay Silver from Game Elevate.
Hey FBI, congratulations on locking in first place.
Thank you.
So I had, there we go, got my question. I was like, where's my question? Anyways, I want to first ask about the offseason. 100 Thieves, aside from adding tenacity, was one of the only rosters not to make any changes outside of adding tenacity and Mithy. And I want to get a sense from you, how did the offseason go for you personally? And what did you work on to prepare yourself for the lock-in?
Honestly, the offseason was pretty chill for me. I wasn't able to go home because of COVID for like 3 years, so I just went home and relaxed for a little bit, and that was really refreshing. And in terms of the tenacity and Sunday situation, I think Milan is really talented and he's young. He has a lot of room to grow. That being said, I think Sunday is also extremely good, as he showed today. So yeah, we're just practicing with a bit of both and getting a feel of how the game plays out, playing with two different top laners.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, and then next we have Pedro from the Click.
Hey FBI, first of all, congrats on securing first place in the group for lock-in.
Thank you.
Regarding your approach to the 2022 season, I mean, obviously you've won a prior championship in OCE, and now you're heading into this season as the defending LCS champion. And so although you've already experienced the sort of position of being the hunted instead of the hunter, with respect to this being like the LCS, like, do you feel the sense of the target being placed on your back, as all the other teams are gunning for 100 Thieves?
Honestly, not particularly. I think from split to split and season to season, the game changed a lot and the teams changed a lot too. There was a lot of roster changes. So yeah, coming into this year, it just kind of feels like a fresh start more than anything. And I'm not really too worried about being hunted or whatever. We're just really focused on improving every day, and our form isn't currently the best. I think we can be a lot better, and that's what we'll be working on doing.
Okay, and then next we have Degon.
Hey, brother.
Hey.
I kind of wanted to. Oh man, my question just left me. It happens everywhere. I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on being one of the first rosters that hasn't made a change. Like you're adding or a subtraction. You're adding tenacity, but I think this is the first roster since back to the OG Cloud9 days where a champion is not making a change. What makes your team dynamic so special, including Abadage, who was just added six months ago?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting that we're the first team to make a change. I think we just get along very well as a team, and after going to Worlds, I feel like we felt that we had a lot of room to improve as a 5, and that just made it really easy to just stick with the same core kind of group and try to push to further heights, because I think last year's Worlds was pretty disappointing for us, and I think we can be a lot better. So it feels pretty good to run it back, and adding tenacity has also been like a big help, I think, especially for top lane. They talk a lot and do a lot of 1v1 matchups. So yeah, I think it's been good.
Okay, we have another question from Pedro.
To follow up on that question, the team also experienced an upgrade from their coaching staff. I mean, Mithy joined the team during the offseason, a person who led Cloud9 into Worlds last year. And so I'd like to know, like, how has he been integrating into the team, and what sort of pointers have you learned from him thus far?
Yeah, it's been really great having Mithy added in as a coach. I think he's a really smart individual, and he's also really funny to be around. So it's been really nice to have Mithy around, and he's been helping a lot with bot lane in particular. He was a former support, so he's been helping Huhi a lot with certain things that we might miss in the game. And overall, I just think he's like a really great mind in the game in terms of macros. So it's been really helpful to have Mithy added in.
Okay, and we have a question from Jordan.
Hey, FPL. I wanted to ask quickly about Demir. We're seeing Jinx get a lot of love this year in pro play. Are you able to tell like new viewers why she's so relevant now as opposed to like previous seasons?
Yeah, for sure. Jinx is really strong at the moment because her lane matchups are pretty good to begin with, and with the new rune changes, Lethal Tempo just makes her very, very obnoxious to team fight against. When she gets stacked, she has 700 range, gets one reset, and she can just easily pop off in a team fight. So I think the main change would probably be the Lethal Tempo change that brought her back into the meta, and she is a very, very solid pick.
Yeah, that's awesome. Man. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have another question from Jay from Game Elevate.
All right. I was going to ask a question about the meta, but I guess my question is going to be reframed a little bit. I didn't get to talk to you when you were at Worlds this year, so I kind of want to get your thoughts. I know it was a while back, but can you give me a little bit of a brief summary? Like, how do you think your Worlds experience was, and was there anything that you're hoping that you brought from Worlds to bring it to the LCS?
Yeah, sure. Honestly, our Worlds experience wasn't the greatest. I think not having closer due to visa issues in our initial Berlin bootcamp was pretty hurtful. I felt like we took a couple of steps backwards from where we were at during the LCS finals. So it was pretty difficult headed into the World scrims versus world-class teams. And yeah, it was just a bit rough because we didn't have closer during our bootcamp, and that made it pretty hard to get back into the groove of things. But I will say that I think the experience was very, very helpful. Getting to verse really, really good teams, and especially from my perspective, world-class bot lanes, really opened my eyes to like the level that you are able to reach, and not there yet. So it showed that I have a lot of room to improve, and yeah, I enjoyed it a lot at the end of the day.
We all thought you were amazing at Worlds, so
Thank you.
just letting you know that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have a question from Pedro.
As is usually the case in the LCS, we've seen many people join into the league through various positions. Specifically in the ADC column, we've seen players such as Hansama enter into the tournament, like through Lock In, among others. And so, as of now, I understand that Lock In is still going, but where do you rank yourself among the ADC players in the LCS?
I will be the best ADC this year. With that being said, I think Hans Lama is a very good player, and I really hope that Core JJ can get his green card soon, so that we'll be able to vest him.
All right, Pedro, you can go.
There's been a noticeable shift towards a 2v2 fight within the bottom lane as a result of this meta. What are your thoughts on that aspect?
Yeah, personally, I'm a big fan of this meta. Getting rid of the teleport changes, I was a big fan of. I appreciate just laning 2v2 and seeing who the better bot lane is without any outside interference. But yeah, I think the meta change was pretty good for our team, and having more fun playing in this meta.
You can go again, Pedro.
I understand that you've already faced a number of formidable teams within thus far in the tournament, but is there any other team that you're inching to face later on in like the spring split?
Yeah, I think a full power Team Liquid is the team that I'm most excited to face during the spring split. Like I said before, I think Hans Summer is really good, and Core JJ is obviously very good, so it'll be a lot of fun to go up against them. And I know Abadage really wants to shit on Bjorkson.
All right, thank you.
Thank
That
you.
wraps up our scrum. Yeah. All right.
Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much. Bye.